Hello and welcome to Ministry of Offence, the show that pulls apart this week's news like a Jack Russell at a chicken carcass. I'm your host, Stephen Allen, and I'm going to start with a quick recap of the things you might have missed. The chief of the Environment Agency says we have to stop sending our rubbish overseas. We could start by holding Eurovision on Zoom. This is very close to my heart, as last election I voted Green. I wasn't going to bother, but I realised the polling station was just round the corner from the lay-by where I fly tip. P&O have reassured customers that their new liner built in the Titanic shipyard is very unlikely to go down. However, with much of the crew on £2 an hour, they could be open to offers. A huge cod was caught off the coast of Iceland and landed in Lincolnshire. It's so big, experts believe that wrapping pieces of it with chips could lead to the first ever broadsheet newspaper being sold in Grimsby. A 28-year-old British soldier, Aidan Aslan, has been captured by the Russians in Mariupol. Up till now, the only thing that would make an Englishman fight on the streets of Ukraine was qualifying for Euro 2012. London's Courtauld Gallery has added a caption to Manet's bar at the Folies Bergère, pointing out the barwoman's discomfort at being the focus of the male gaze. I paid a visit not only because I'm troubled by exploitative depictions of the female form, but the gallery's just round the corner from my favourite spearmint rhino, which is where I go after I've had a good fly tipping. I'll say one thing, the eyes do follow you around the room, especially if you're trying to stifle a semi. I think her troubled look comes not from the male gaze, but that corset. It's so tight, they're not actually breasts, they're her kidneys. There have been claims Russian forces are moving towards Finland. Apparently, in January, Russia was going to invade the north of the country by launching an attack at daybreak, but got fed up of waiting. Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak received fines for breaking the lockdown rules. Rishi's been trying to work out if these fines are tax deductible. It's not Boris's fault that he didn't know the rules. He couldn't watch the Downing Street briefings because he was busy working at the time. One event was for Boris Johnson's birthday. Did he make a big night of it? How could we tell? He always looks like he's been sleeping in a hedge. Scientists say magic mushrooms could be used to treat depression. I can believe this, as in a small way, mushrooms helped me when I suffered from hearing negative voices, as my terrible cooking was one of the reasons she left. The advantage is that magic mushrooms can be incorporated into meals. There's even a recipe book coming out by Psychedelia Smith. And that's your weekly roundup. Time to get on with the show. Of course, no panel show is complete without panellists, so it's time to meet tonight's teams. Our team captain for the right is Satan's wingman himself, Leo Kearse. And his teammate, you may have seen his face before at a gig, or if you've ever been to Easter Island, columnist and top stand-up Simon Evans. And facing you tonight, the captain of the left team, smeared with factor 50 so her complexion can cope with the studio lights, we have the wit, charm and filth of Diane Spencer. And her teammate is top Canadian comedian and food vlogger, possibly Canada's finest export since... What else do they do? It can't just be syrup. It's Dana Alexander. So here at the Ministry of Offence, we ask our teams to tell us which minister they would like to be. So, Diane, I'm going to start with your team. What are you the minister of?
Well, I am the shadow minister for cake for work purposes. Because many hard-working people, after a long day, they want to have cake, and due to the lies and confusion of our current Tory government, they seem to not understand whether the cake is for a birthday or not. But hard-working people deserve their cake and should not be cake-shamed.
Dana, which minister would you like to be?
I am the Minister of Rwandan Tourism. Yes. It's a trial and error process, and I think there's going to be a trial and an error, so I'm holding on to the job while I can.
And over to you, Leo. Which minister are you going to be?
I'm going to be the Minister of Overblown Reactions. All these indignant princesses furious that Boris had a slice of cake while he was working. You know what I mean? Like, we could be doing worse. As world leaders go, we could have Putin, we could have Kim Jong-un. You know what I mean? You think anybody would be upset that, you know, Kim Jong-un, oh, what's he done this week? Oh, he had a slice of Victoria cake. Oh, my God. What a monster.
Kim Jong-un looks like he's had more than one slice of cake.
Fair point. So does Boris.
And Simon, what would you be the minister of?
Well, I'm going to be Foreign Secretary. But there is a lot of comic potential in Foreign Secretary, isn't there? If you play it like Manuel in 40 Towers. You know, I not understand. I'm Foreign Secretary, and this is how we get into this mess, you know.
Now that's the introductions out of the way. I think it's high time we got this show on the road. So it's time for our first round, Clickbait. Yes, our first round is Clickbait, where we give each of our guests a news story and task them to come up with a headline. In true tabloid style, these headlines need to be funny, punny, or downright sensational. Basically, anything that's going to draw you in as clickbait. OK, let's start with the left. Diane, I'm coming to you for the first story from the Daily Star. A young bullock who fell into a swimming pool after making its escape from a field has been winched to safety by firefighters. The 600-kilogram farm animal, who spent around 4 hours in the water, kept his nose just below the surface, blowing bubbles, which he seemed to enjoy. It's like he wanted to die. Can't blame him.
Firemen get balls out at swimming pool?
It's almost your dream if it weren't for that one vowel.
It looks more like he's being dunked in it to me. I think they're deliberately dunking that bullock and making some sort of weird Bovril-based beverage.
Is it some sort of chlorine marinade?
It could be, yeah. I would go for no heavy petting.
New world record for world's chunkiest gravy? Fat naked cow gets stuck in swimming pool.
It's a headline in a lot of local newspapers. Yeah.
Could actually be getting winched out via her bikini, if you look at it like that.
I like that.
Any more for any more?
Is it Michael Jackson's pet chimpanzee has fantastic night?
Blowing bubbles, yeah.
Just below the surface of the water, blowing bubbles. So...
Disgusting. Any more for any more?
Yes, Bubbles in Paradise, free the bollocks.
That's nice.
What would you do with a bullet? It's got to be harnessed out.
Turn it into sausages. You winch it out, you rinse off the chlorine, and then you put it in a mincer.
That's what I mean. It's meat. It's meat.
Yeah, you've matched it.
He won't end up in the sausages, but his testicles will.
Subtitle, beef dripping.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful. All right, let's move on to the blue team. And here's Leo's story from The Sun. A competitive dad helped his son with a school project. Richard Brigg, 47, built his son a full-size tomb with a mummy inside for an ancient Egypt project. The dad spent 6 weeks and 250 quid on the pharaoh masterpiece for his aptly named son, Alexander.
We don't see a woman in that picture, so I think the headline's got to be, "This is your new mummy." And this one won't leave. Or, I mean, he's done it in the kitchen. He's built it in the kitchen, so it could be Ramesses' kitchen nightmares.
Nice. You know? Very nice.
Dad desperate for son to choose him in custody battle.
After you, my darling.
2 mummies, 1 tomb.
Do you think the wife is in there though? I mean, that would be a great twist to it at the end.
Forgot to put
There's
air
the
rolls.
closing credits and there's just a muffled cry.
Well, this is the new Fred.
Joke's
and
a
Rose,
joke.
the new Fred and Rose West is this man.
Fred and Rose East, I guess.
Because didn't he take it into the school and it actually had a mummy inside? I think it should be nursery nightmares continue, children exposed to corpse.
Actually, it's just after COVID, so this could be post-COVID coffin fit.
OK, let's head back to the left. Dana, here's your story. Gang of thieves steal £17,000 worth of cheese in a massive dairy heist, leaving farmers afraid. The robbery at a dairy farm in the Netherlands last week saw the farm lose £3,500 as a well-organised group of thieves broke in and loaded a bus full of the product. It's a surprisingly expensive cheese.
Yes, it was a lactose conglomerate, and it was a cheesy getaway.
Beautiful. Any more headlines?
Damn it.
The Yorkshire
Punchy.
audience are loving that joke, right?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
How dare he?
I think we're in danger of milking it now, to be honest.
Oh, God. And finally, let's see what Simon does with this story. New signs for UK private crossings show a modern diesel or electric train and a gate to the side of a track. The change comes amid safety concerns that steam trains on current designs can be confusing to younger drivers, delivery drivers and walkers unfamiliar with roads.
It is bizarre, isn't it? What about that is confusing? I mean, we still have a floppy disk to indicate save on most computer programming. So that's the symbol, right? That hasn't been in play for about 3 generations of computer users. These signs are preventing deaths of people who quite clearly are not cut out to reproduce if they cannot understand that they're approaching a dangerous railway crossing from that.
I love how you're right. This is not a headlines quiz now. It is letters to the Telegraph.
No, absolutely. Walkers unfamiliar with roads. I mean, what is that? It's ridiculous.
How did they get to where they're walking?
I have no idea. I hope they die.
Well, anyone for a lighter note?
The signs, they are a change in. Generation Z needs help identifying diesel locomotives that identify as trains.
Education crisis, failed youth can't recognise trains, Tories to blame.
Clapping about the fact that kids are stupid? No? I thought you were like, well done, we've managed to ruin education.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a train. That's why it's on the train track.
How about get off the tracks, you twat?
Well, all of those were absolutely splendid. There can only be one winner, though, and I can say the winner is Diane's team. Wow. Now it's time for a break. We'll be right back after this.
My name is Andrew Doyle. Join me every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. for Free Speech Nation. This is a show where we address current affairs and news stories of the week with the help of 2 wonderful comedian panellists. I brought in comics because I want to give it a lighter edge, and also they work for less. See you there.
Welcome back to Ministry of Offence. We're still here with Leo Kearse, Simon Evans, Diane Spencer and Dana Alexander. It's now time for our next round, Lie Detector. Our teams are shown some newspaper stories from this week and they must decide which parts of each story are true and which parts are false. This round is head-to-head, so it's fingers on buzzers. So our first one, see if you can spot the lies in this story. Meghan Markle is attempting to trademark the phrase Markle Sparkle for her new range of teeth whitening kits, which include gels, mouthpieces and UV lights. The Duchess of Sussex made the application over the use of the term to the United States Patent and Trademark Office last month.
I would guess it's actually Meghan's Merkins. She's probably wants to patent an elite range of genital wigs, which obviously nowadays are less necessary than they have been in the past, when obviously people had to shave themselves or, you know, lost hair. But obviously in the aftermath of the Oscars and with the alopecia story being in the headlines, there's also the possibility that she might piggyback on that a little bit as well.
Do you think you could do, you know, like you get those swimming cap type things to make it look like you're bald? Do they do bald merch?
I don't know. I don't know. What, the Action Man look? Is that what you mean there?
It's not Meghan Markle, it's actually Marks and Spencer that are trying to trademark Markle Sparkle, and it's their teeth whitening kit for the middle classes, which is basically just a book on how to give up red wine.
Makes more sense. Other ideas?
It's Markle patriarchal. She's going to let Prince Harry make a few decisions for once.
She's actually known as the Right Honourable Keeper of Ginger Balls.
Right.
Is it Markle debacle? It's when you become an actual real-life princess, but screw it up so badly, you've got to then start flogging teeth whitening kits.
Does anyone actually want to try and guess the correct answer?
Is it cocaine?
Is that teeth whitening?
Yeah, I believe so.
I can tell you that none of you got the correct answer, I'm afraid. The correct answer is Meghan Markle is attempting to trademark the word archetypes after deciding to use it for the name of her first round of podcasts. So apparently you can now copyright a word, but she'll have to sue the dictionary. Her first episode will be about how labels can hold women back, and when she'll recall her own trauma of being late to a premiere because she couldn't choose between Gucci, Chanel or Louis Vuitton. OK, everyone, fingers on buzzers. Here comes the next story. Joe Biden goes gaga. Joe Biden has been spotted raising his hands and appearing confused after being ignored by a group who greeted pop sensation Lady Gaga instead. Gaga was invited to the White House by President Biden to promote the 12th anniversary of the launch of the Affordable Care Act. Anyone spot any lies in there?
Yeah, Joe Biden, everything was fine. He wasn't raising his hands and appearing confused. He's been a lifelong Gaga fan. He's one of the little monsters. And they go back decades. So it's a complete non-story. It's an attempt to make Biden look ridiculous and foolish, and I'm tired of this sort of thing, to be honest. He's doing his best.
Any other guesses?
It wasn't the 12th anniversary of the Affordable Care Act. It was the 12th anniversary of Joe remembering where he'd put his keys.
I'm actually going to try and win now. I think it was Barack Obama, wasn't it, who was there to celebrate the Affordable Care Act and the 12th anniversary, and that Biden looked confused when everyone went to greet, because we lost the last round, so I'm going to win this one.
Simon, you got it absolutely spot on.
That's right, absolutely.
Yep, the real story is that Joe Biden was ignored by a group who greeted Barack Obama instead. In some ways, Biden is actually cooler than Obama. Well, maybe just his feet. OK, everyone, fingers on buzzers. Here comes the next lie-laden story. Diesel stole from Rishi Sunak's Range Rover. Thieves siphoned off more than 250 quid's worth of fuel during a daring operation. A government source said Rishi is furious about it. The brazen thieves embarrassed security staff by pulling off the massive diesel theft under their noses outside number 11. Anyone spot a lie in there?
If that is Rishi Sunak's Range Rover, it's parked on a double yellow line, which means he's broken the law and needs to resign. There's a number of things I think are a bit fishy about it. I don't think his Range Rover would be outside number 11. He keeps his Range Rover on his country estate, Scotland. And if he does have 250 quid's worth of fuel in the back, I suspect it's only there in case he needs to dispose of a body.
Is diesel the fuel to do that with? I mean, I've never killed anyone yet, but...
Well, it doesn't burn.
You don't want an electric, because you'll get halfway out to where you're going to bury it, and then you'll have to charge the car for half an hour. And just think, God, and then you'll hear him thumping in the boot, and you'll go, oh, God, I knew he'd wake up.
Voice of experience there.
Was it they stole £250,000 worth of diesel from a warship?
Is exactly the correct answer.
Bravo.
Yep, here is the real story. Diesel stole from a Royal Navy warship. I can tell you the thieves actually siphoned off more than £250,000 during this daring operation. One theory is that the thieves tricked their way into the Navy base disguised as a construction worker, a cowboy, traffic cop, GI and Native American. So here's your last lie detector story to get. Fingers on buzzers for this one. A scheme rolling out in September aims to help more state schools teach self-defense using Disney and Taylor Swift references. The guide's author uses Swift's Bad Blood to teach grapple and hold techniques and choreographed fighting styles from Little Mermaid and Frozen. Any lies in there?
It's not Disney and Taylor Swift, it's Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Well, I do remember Frozen had some extraordinarily graphic, violent street fighting scenes, especially when the Hong Kong gangs move in and the Mexican gangs try and protect their turf. But I don't remember anything like that in The Little Mermaid, so I'm guessing that's the error.
Any more ideas?
They're not trying to get children to improve their defences. They're actually trying to get children to lower their defences so they can indoctrinate them with gender ideology.
Yeah.
So you're going to see Disney films like Snow White and the 387 gender identities.
One of which may be happy.
Yeah. Any more ideas?
False. The program is actually called Swift from the Lip, How to Destroy Your Boyfriend's Life with a Pop Song.
You are all wrong, I'm afraid. The correct story is that Disney and Taylor Swift's going to be used to increase the appeal of learning Latin. A scheme rolling out in September aims to help more state schools teach Latin using Swift's Bad Blood, translated songs from Little Mermaid and Frozen. So the winners of that round is Leo and Simon. Now it's time for our next game, Spin Doctors. In this round, one member from each team will take on the persona of a public relations specialist as they defend a public figure for something they've done this week that was erroneous, fallacious, or just plain moronic. Right, Leo, your team will be up first. Who will you be spinning this week?
So this week, we are going to be spinning Rishi Sunak and his wife.
Lovely. Let's just have a little reminder of this story.
I think people will find it surprising, to put it mildly, that the immediate family of the UK Chancellor is not paying UK tax on a large part of their income. I mean, people, non-dom status is legal, but I think we should be clear that non-dom status is used to, it's not used to pay more tax, is it? It's used to pay less tax than you otherwise would.
OK, take it away, Leo and Simon.
Well, I think, people are getting a bit caught up about this. So what if she's not paying tax? I mean, does the NHS really need all those nurses and dialysis machines? I mean, come on. They can surely share a dialysis machine. I don't know. She worked very hard. Rishi Sunak's wife did to have a billionaire father. And in fact, I've calculated from her earnings, she's worked roughly 2,786 times harder than a nurse in the NHS. So that's to be celebrated. She's a shareholder in this massive Indian software company. So she's got the power to wipe everybody's Wordle score. So maybe we should just back away from her. Just let her do what she wants. And a lot of the criticism is racist, misogynist, and rooted in colonialism. I mean, it's not. I just wanted to see what it felt like to be left-wing. In the words of Will Smith, get Rishi Sunak's wife's name out of your mouth.
Good spinning.
Yeah. It was great. I would say, yeah. I mean, I would simplify it. Racism. It's just racism. I'm not going to dignify it with a response. It's just blatant racism.
Anyway, keeping it light over here. Did that convince you?
No, not at all. I mean, if you taxed her, you could actually probably buy back the NHS.
Right, let's move to the left now and see it's your turn to defend. Who are you going to be spinning?
Well, we're working as a team because that's what we love to do on the left. And we're going to do... Dana, take it away, my darling.
Whilst Tory climate deniers rested peacefully, global eco-heroes were up early in the wee hours of the morning to devise a way to save our planet.
OK, I think we can take a look at a clip.
Shocking behaviour from these eco-activist crusty hippies. Don't they know we're going to keep ensuring the world supply of fossil fuels until there's nothing less? That's it, nothing left at all. It's profits before planet.
I mean, get the police, get these filthy hippies off our building.
The Ratatouille sequel looks a bit dark. So, start the spinning.
Well, one thing you can be sure of is that their spirits are going to outlast our oil reserves.
It's a good thing that Extinction Rebellion are doing this because the police need to practice with their tasers and their stun guns. I don't know what else police have. Truncheons, they need to practice with all this equipment for the next time that women decide to get together and hold a vigil. Also, Thank you. Also, with Extinction Rebellion gluing themselves to the road a lot, it's brilliant because, you know, it fixes quite a lot of potholes. Anybody with kids is going to be like, oh my God, there are people dressed up as mice in the middle of London for free? I mean, you could tell them it's some kind of street performance of Cinderella. Well, they were dressed as mice and cleaners, which, let's face it, are probably two things that the people who work at Lloyd's of London don't want to engage with.
Well, good spinning. Any of that convince you?
No, it didn't. Not even a bit. No, they blockaded offices of Lloyd's. Nobody's in the offices. Everybody's still working from home. Like, literally, the only people who travelled there burning fossil fuels to do it were Extinction Rebellion and Guardian photographers to take photographs of them. Also, I think they've been sniffing the glue they're using to glue themselves to things. Honestly, the environmental impact of this glue, you know, the UK has only got 12 weeks of horses left. We've already passed peak horse.
I do think you have to ask. There is a serious point. The ecological disaster that is like approaching at a fast rate of knots. Most people feel some degree of alarm about it, and these idiots are causing there to be a very close association in most people's minds with ecological concerns and a bunch of passive-aggressive, work-shy cranks who are neither use nor ornament to society in any way or shape or form. I think it's about time they were hosed into the gutter like the rats they pretend to be.
Well, both well challenged, but ultimately it's up to me to decide who has the best spin. I think the most compelling defence was Simon and Leo.
What? No, you did well.
Let's keep going on to our next round. Yes, this is anti-social media, in which we look at online reactions to various world events and then ask our teams to guess who said what about whom. The teams will need to match each post to an event or a celebrity who said it. Think of it as social media snap. OK, Diane and Dana, over to you. Yours are about some recent nuptials. Here are your options. Can you guess who's getting ribbed in these tweets? Here's your first one. First look at blank's wedding photos.
Well, I would say the person who wrote it could be anyone, and the blank is awful. No, I would say that blank is fire safety appropriate.
Are those his and hers, like, wedding fire extinguishers? That is quite an unusual touch, isn't it? I feel like we let ourselves down now, my wife and I. The squirting of the register.
Should we move on to the next one? Heard blank was catering his own wedding.
The Queen tweeted this. And it's heard Prince Harry catered his own wedding.
Look at that food. That's the guy who was responsible for the catering at Fire Festival.
It might be a Dutch thief.
It's definitely an American because of the Pop-Tart and the fake cheese. So I'm going to guess somebody like Snooki from Jersey Shore, someone like that. Who would eat that? I have no idea.
I think it's a tweet by Jamie Oliver, and it's heard Gordon Ramsay catered his own wedding.
No, I know who it is. It's that Brooklyn Beckham who claims he's a chef and he's trying to get into the American market. Did you ever see him make a breakfast sandwich? It was I don't know why. I don't know how he got invited on the show.
Right, moving on to the next one. If this week ends without a picture of blank and blank on custom-made thrones, I'll be furious. What's the point of being that rich if you're not going to have a tacky wedding?
OK, so you know how... All right, you know how Emmanuel Macron's really jealous of the AUKUS deal? I think this is his tweet, and I think he's saying, without a picture of Boris Johnson and Scott Morrison and Joe Biden on custom thrones, I'll be furious. What's the point of having such a tacky wedding? You're not going to do it if you're that rich, because you make the deal, and we were supposed to build your submarines, but no.
I thought Macron was French. And the next one, I've discovered from my blank tweet that some people are angry that it cost $4 million. I mean, both sets of parents are obscenely wealthy. Did you think they were going to have their evening do down the miners' welfare with a disco? Who's that about then?
Oh. Who's wealthy anymore?
Well, since the cost of living crisis, not a lot of people.
I think this is Boris, and it's, I've discovered from my birthday party tweet that some people are angry it costs £4 million.
So you can do French.
Well, I can give you a clue. 4 multiple choice answers. These tweets were posted about Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz, and Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. You can tell I'm in my comfort zone with the names of...
Brooklyn Beckham.
Yeah, she said it, yeah.
I believe you anyway. I mean, I was here when you said it.
And noted actress Nicola Peltz in her own right, let's not forget. She was in something called Bates Motel a mere 9 years ago. So she's got a perfectly viable TV career of her own.
It's about who has rich parents, though, isn't it, right? And I don't think anybody who is named Machine Gun Kelly's poor.
Well, fair play. You get the points because you are absolutely right.
Well, you can see where the money went.
Leo and Simon, here are your posts all about Nadine Dorries and Channel 4, and you're guessing who posted these messages rather than who they're about. Here are your options. Take a look at these. First of all, can you guess who posted these messages? It's hard to measure the stupidity and short-termism here, or what the possible upside is, other than to whoever will use it to make money for themselves. It will certainly make the UK poorer culturally, which is pretty amazing work by the Culture Secretary.
This, that's got to be somebody left-wing, because they're very upset that somebody's about to make money. The antithesis of all that is left. Everybody's got to be equally poor.
Or it could just be Boris Johnson, who's not been paying attention, and the brief has just drifted across his table, and he's had a quick look at it, gone, oh no, what have they done now? Forgetting that he's actually in control at the moment.
Right, moving on to the next one. I'm going to buy Channel 4 to protect Countdown.
Oh, that's got to be Elon Musk.
I think it's Prince Andrew, because he has nothing else to do.
On to the next one. A government that talks about celebrating British achievements in the same breath as selling them off to foreign investors. We are sunk.
Is that the warship?
I think they're maybe overestimating the impact of doing away with Channel 4. I think the nation could continue in some semblance, like it did before 1986, when Channel 4 was invented. You know, we still existed and had Stonehenge.
There are like about 1,000 TV channels now, aren't there? I honestly wouldn't be aware. If Channel 4 just disappeared, I wouldn't know what had happened to it. I don't mean to be mean.
Well, you'd be wondering why Channel 5 is now Channel 4.
Yeah.
Is anything more sunken than Coronation Street?
Is it gone?
Controversial.
Sorry!
Bette Lynch, and you dressed as her as well. That's disgraceful, this is.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
It's a very stylish lady from the 80s.
And your final one. The Tories want to privatise Channel 4 to shield themselves from accountability and drag the UK's media landscape even further to the right. If Channel 4 falls into the hands of billionaire barons, the establishment moves closer to freedom from scrutiny at the expense of truth.
Is this Brooklyn Beckham?
I think it might be Claudia Webb, famously dim Labour MP who gets onto bandwagons of this kind, and this is the kind of verbosity that she would be associated with in order to conceal her own ignorance. So I think I'm going with Claudia Webb. It's just a straightforward slur on my part. There's no joke. Yeah.
It sounds like a normal Labour MP to me.
Right, here they are all again. And we will give you 4 multiple choice answers. These were posted by Sue Perkins, Dara O'Brien, Jeremy Corbyn and Richard Osman.
OK, well, Osman is definitely protecting Countdown, isn't he? That's definitely an Osman.
He's on that Channel 4 gravy train.
Yeah.
Doesn't want that to end.
Dara O'Brien is sort of a mate of mine-ish. So I better be careful, but I can easily imagine him whining on about Nadine Dorries getting rid of British culture. I can definitely see that coming from him.
So former friends after what you said.
I think the last one that sounded quite poncy, that's Jeremy Corbyn.
Any more thoughts before we do the reveal?
I will say Sue Perkins's We Are Sunk.
Let's reveal who said what. And you got them absolutely right. So at the end of that round, the left have some points and the right have some points, but let's not get hung up on point scoring. We'll leave that to the politicians. Now it's time for a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Every night at 11 on GBNews, we bring you the next day's stories the day before.
It's basically like time travel.
If it's a big story, we'll cover it, guaranteed. But we'll also have some fun along the way.
Big opinions, big laughs. Sometimes big hair.
This is
Headliners, the paper review show that won't send you to sleep like the others will.
11 p.m, 7 nights a week. Join us.
Now, in this round, we give each team a photo and they have to come up with a hilarious meme. So, Diane and Dana, let's hear your suggestions for this photo of Camilla and Phil Mitchell. What are your thoughts on this one?
I don't care who you are, love, you ain't coming in with those trainers.
I used to know another Phil who could have people bumped off.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver!
OK, moving on to Leo and Simon's meme. What have you come up with for this photo, Leo?
That's Putin.
That's all you need to say. Oh, it's got a very strong best school trip ever vibe about it, that, hasn't it?
Yeah, totally.
He's got his Simon Snorkel Parker on. He's got his thumb up. He's doing that far show. Isn't it brilliant when you're on a warship?
Yeah.
It's fabulous. And there's a strong sense that the grown-ups have had about enough of him.
That picture is actually... So McDonald's left Russia, obviously. So nobody in Russia can get a McDonald's anymore. So McDonald's have set up in international waters. That is Putin just ordering a few value meals. That's all he can afford now with the sanctions.
Any thoughts from over here?
Yes, turn on the Celine Dion. It's my moment.
Thumbs up if you're a war criminal. Or, welcome to P&O, I'm your new captain.
Any more for any more?
I command you to paint me like one of your French girls.
Moving on. So, Diane and Dana, let's hear your suggestions for the next photo of the French election. What are your thoughts for this one?
How about, when you've paid £100 for a theatre ticket and you sit behind the actor's mother.
What's worse than a cat lady? Marie le chien.
I think she reminds me a bit of Michael Fabricant, but I can't work out how to fit his willy warmer into the picture.
That's not what that dog's called, surely. Disturbing.
I don't like the way it's wearing a harness. I mean, I don't know what that is entitled. You know, what the French rules may be different. I don't know, but
I can tell you what that is. This is the French Green Party, and they've launched a new low-carbon airline. It's just a woman flapping those. Actually, you're saying the French flags? I don't think that's right. Every time I've seen a French soldier waving a flag, it's been white.
OK, moving on. Leo and Simon's next meme. What have you come up with for this photo?
Is it Dads for Justice? Join Extinction Rebellion? I don't know. Fathers for Justice, that's what it is.
It's a very satirical meme demonstrating that despite the fact that you're presented with three apparent choices at the ballot booth, the blue for the Tories, the red for Labour, the yellow for the Lib Dems, strip them down underneath, it's all just big oil. There's no choice at all. They're all in the pocket of big oil. There we are. My name's Ben Elton. Thank you. Good night.
I don't know. Is it Extinction Rebellion find new ways to protect their virginity?
Any thoughts from over here?
When your vegan mum makes you a Teletubbies costume.
All right, you have all come up with some red-hot memes, but there can only be one winner, and that is Diane.
Well,
So, at the end of that round, it's still all to play for, and there's just time for our final round, quickfire Q&A. In our final round, I'll be asking the rapid-fire questions based on the news from this week. Our teams will have to buzz in and be the fastest to answer to gain the points. If you're at home, if you fancy playing along, well, you certainly can do. Teams, are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
The Queen has given permission to publish chapters to reveal how the royals got through COVID and the death of Prince Philip. What is the title of the book they will be included in?
Damn you, Meghan!
It's The Other Side of the Coin. It's a good title, that.
Oh, yeah,
Whether that
because
will
it wouldn't
be
work if it was the other side of the stamp.
the one you don't lick. A popular face in football is under fire for allegedly knocking a supporter's phone out of his hand. Who is it?
Is it Gaza?
Maybe not. Any ideas?
Matthew Tissier.
Christian Ronaldo.
Close enough.
Wow.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
It's Cristiano Ronald.
Sorry,
is his real name, but,
You did really well.
I think you know who I mean.
Yeah.
A British politician has made the news by threatening to sue Twitter. Who was it?
Really?
Yeah.
The guy with the hair, Michael Fabricant.
No.
is it Crispin Blunt?
It's not.
No.
Things have gone well for him this week, haven't they?
Oh, it's got to be Nadine Dorries.
No, but that's a good idea for it. The answer was George Galloway.
Oh.
Matthew Wright
Yes.
has been in hot water after criticising the Queen for having an assistant to do what for her?
Meghan.
Yes.
To love her third son.
The answer was wearing her shoes.
Oh.
What Hollywood movie star made a surprise appearance in Derry Girls this week?
Danny DeVito.
No. Any others?
Is it the pig from Babe?
Right not. It was Liam Neeson. Oh. How much was Boris Johnson fined for being ambushed by a cake and attending his own birthday party?
50 quid.
It's the correct answer.
That's right.
Not enough.
It's also the correct answer. Who shelled out a cool $2.9 billion to buy a 9% stake in Twitter, but couldn't get into
Elon
Berlin's
Musk.
raunchiest nightclub? What was the...
Elon Musk.
Is the correct answer. Who wanted to be an osteopath when she was young, but ended up spending 35 years as a chain-smoking, Bible-reading laundrette manager?
Mother Teresa.
I'd have to check the history with Simon, but I don't think so.
Camilla.
Very close, almost worthy of points. Actress June Brown, who played Dot Cotton in EastEnders. What's the similarity? Why did LBC's interview with anti-oil protester Nathan McGovern go on for longer than planned this week?
Because left-wing people talk too much.
Would you like to expand on that?
Well, also...
Yeah, why doesn't Simon expand on it?
Was it because a protest took place that extended the length of the interview?
Yes.
Yes.
He glued his hand to the microphone.
Is the correct answer. It's amazing that microphones aren't unpluggable, though, isn't it? Why did security guard Gary Middleton get a bit of a shock when he was patrolling the biscuit aisle at Morrison's supermarket in West Rhineham, Norfolk, this week?
He saw some Jaffa cakes, which aren't a biscuit.
Sadly not the right answer.
Was he tasered? What? He got a bit of a shock. I mean, there's usually a clue in the question.
He couldn't get down the biscuit aisle because there were the Extinction Rebellion people glued all the way down it.
Sadly not. It's because he ran into actor John Travolta next to the hobnob.
Oh, I did see that as well.
A hobnobbing.
Yeah.
Hey? Tim Martin wants to turn Buckingham Palace into which famous pub chain?
Weatherspoons.
Spoons is the right answer.
Yes!
Would improve it, wouldn't it? How many people have been prosecuted over leaked footage of Matt Hancock's kiss?
0.
Is the correct answer. Not even Matt Hancock for that inability to grab a bottom.
And it wasn't really a kiss. It was more like he was trying to inhale her head.
What Warner Brothers film has come under fire for deleting references to a gay relationship for the Chinese audience?
Damn it! What was it? What was it?
Right answer.
It's the Harry Potter thing, Fabulous Beasts, I think it's called.
No, Mr. Dumbledore, the Adventures of Dumbledore.
No, it's,
I mean, as much as that's close,
it's Brokeback Mountain.
it's a 5-minute film.
The Beginnings of Dumbledore.
It's yeah, it's Fantastic Beasts, and where to find them. They wouldn't call it fabulous, if anything, making the problem worse. What is one energy supplier giving out to counteract soaring bills?
Danny DeVito.
Would work.
Blankets.
You will give you the points for that. It's an electric blanket, and a farmer allegedly.
An electric blanket. That's. Well, at least it's not a gas-fired blanket.
A farmer allegedly bullied and taunted vegans with what in a TikTok video?
Noble intentions.
Not the right answer.
The right attitude.
Was it like, because bacon is the one thing that vegans find really hard to resist, was it a bacon sarnie?
Almost the opposite of that, I'm afraid. It was a turnip. And sadly, that means we've reached the end of the show. Congratulations to the winning team, The Right. And to the winners, your prize is 48 hours of abuse from strangers online. To the losers, you won't be going away empty-handed. You'll also be getting 48 hours of abuse from strangers online. Thank you to our team captains, Leo Kearse and Diane Spencer. And to our guests this week, Simon Evans and Dana Alexander. I've been your host, Stephen Allen. We'll see you next week.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.